What is up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another XRP update. Hope all is well, and just a quick heads up, I've not been feeling well at all the past few days, so we're going to do this video one take uncut, and at the end of this one, we're also going to show the Bitcoin price chart. I hope you enjoy. First things first, Matthew Liny. There's been a joint statement on the multiple central bank digital currency UAE, a CBDC bridge project to jointly study the potential of distributed ledger tech in cross-border payments. Of course, those of us in the XRP community are well aware of this. This is not just some new thing where we can trace back a variety of projects. I think they even mentioned Project Lion Rock and Inthenon in this document as well. Yep, right there. And we've talked about this, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. This gentleman was on stage with Brad Garlinghouse, that may have been in the picture at the Swiss National Bank when they were side by side with Christine Lagarde. We can see direct relation to the Bank of Thailand, of course. We're already developing an on-demand liquidity corridor there as well. The Central Bank of the UAE is in fact a RippleNet partner, and we also have additional, confluences or coincidences, so to speak, of the UAE's National Bank of Fujairah joins RippleNet. So all good and great. If you did watch the last two videos, you guys remember me covering the actual articles talking about the UAE, and about 50% of value is going to be going over and integrated with distributed ledger tech. So no surprise there. Remember, remittance fees per even Navin Gupta, 7%, even 10% in these regions, that's unheard of. And of course, these credit card companies that are typically used to doing 2% fees are going to get hit hard with crypto. Crypto may even replace them or essentially force them to change. And we're going to be talking about that. These typically invisible fees that we don't realize are actually going to be very, very noticeable with all the cost savings that crypto brings us. Right here, this was huge today. So we have Flare Networks announcing they're going to be integrating another asset. Now we have XLM as an F asset, bringing XLM to scalable smart contracts and a trustless gateway to Stellar. Decentralization is far too important for maximalism. Ecosystems must be united. Love it. We even have our guy Jungle Link down below mentioning XMR Monero, and that would be another great example to get that over into the Flare Networks ecosystem. So some of these assets that have privacy features or maybe are highly efficient in terms of transactions, being a bridge asset like XRP, but they lack smart contract capabilities, these are the perfect assets to team up with Flare Networks, even Litecoin for that matter. So all good and great. I support this massively. And I just wanted to share Anders L in his commentary here, and I think it's just very logical. I predict all major cryptos without smart contract capabilities being integrated as an F asset. Do you realize the power? And it's very big. Now we have XLM. I'm sure we're going to get even more announcements in the months ahead, zero doubt, and I'm beyond excited. And keep in mind, what does this mean for the demand of Spark? Yes, us XRP holders, we care about the appreciation of XRP. We've been waiting. We understand what's coming, but we also want sound tokenomics in demand for Spark, or FLR, the ticker right here. So this is where you guys can learn. This is the FXRP walkthrough. This is on flareghost.io. I encourage you guys to go through these blogs and just kind of read through them. Read super slow. Even me, I just have to take my time through it, and then you can fully grasp it without rushing like I'm normally used to rushing through. And essentially, to mint F assets, I almost said FXRP, you would actually have to collateralize a lot of Spark in this case. Now this ratio can change, in my opinion. I think they just kind of have to vote and decide, but nonetheless, because we know there's 100 billion Spark, it's the same as XRP, for 1 billion XRP to be converted into 1 billion FXRP, which in my opinion will happen, that would require 2.5 billion Flare or Spark using the current collateral ratio. So if this type of price rate, the XRP per Spark price rate, so if XRP price rose faster than Spark price, and even Spark price went down, this increases during this time. The amount of collateral needed increases as well. It could be very crazy. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are way smarter than me that could, better explain this scenario. But in terms of market volatility, I would be very curious how this all functions. Is it just entirely automated? I'm learning with you guys, but nonetheless, there are sound tokenomics in demand for the Spark ecosystem or Flare Networks as a whole. So I encourage you guys to read through this. Breaks it down, shows you the equations, the collateral ratio, all good and great. Just wanted to point it out because it is very exciting, and we'll try to keep up and be talking more about all of this in the months ahead. Also, just a great resource. I'm 100% certain that almost all of you have found this. This is Community Flare on Twitter. Follow this gentleman. Go watch his YouTube videos, and if you have not claimed your Spark tokens, and the only people that can claim them for now are the people that had their XRP, for example, maybe within a wallet on, let's say, a Ledger Nano X or S. If your XRP was in that wallet, that same address, during the snapshot early on in December, you're still able to claim your Spark. If you have any questions, please go to the Flare website and they'll be able to answer everything. So they have a video right here as well, and I retweeted it if you guys want to find this, and it's just how to claim your Spark. And right here, what do you all think happens when the rest of the crypto communities discover the potential demand of Flare? Keep in mind, Flare is just the ticker, the abbreviation for FLR. This is Spark token. So I will say Flare, I will say Spark. I'm going to use these terms interchangeably. Nonetheless, I've been scanning throughout all of these crypto ecosystems, looking on Twitter, looking on YouTube. As you guys know, I hold about 30 plus cryptos. I do my very best to keep up to date with them, but man, it is very, very hard. So of course, I'm focusing on essentially the movers and shakers in this industry. And nonetheless, there are a few groups and even smaller altcoin communities that are pretty smart. Even the people that are in the NFT game and, Gala holders for Gala games, I think they're well aware of what this value add is bringing for NFTs. And essentially, this will have a rippling effect throughout this entire ecosystem, no pun intended. So I'm beyond excited for essentially all these other communities to really catch on, because they've really stuck to this narrative and think that XRP is just this bankster's coin with no utility, and that is just such a joke to me, because there's plenty of opportunity if we get rid of the tribalism and actually cooperate and interoperate with one another. So beyond exciting, and I'm just going to keep up to date with that. Right here, guys. So Caitlin Long, of course, the founder of Avanti, and of course she did the laser eyes. I'm not a big fan of that profile picture, but interesting. The world truly has changed. No headquarters address for a fully remote company. This is very, very crazy, guys. One of the first, supposedly decentralized companies. In May 2020, we became a remote first company. Accordingly, we do not maintain a headquarters. Very interesting. And now I essentially assume that, more companies will be following suit. What a strange world we live in. Right here, this is a really good thread, guys. So Roth Economin, Ripple partner, Finabler, we've talked about them many, many times, and Roth does cover them extensively, so I appreciate it. They are merging with Bahrain's BFC. Now, BFC Group Holdings, FYI, we're going to show you down below, they're actually a RippleNet partner as well. So I love when we talk about RippleNet partners and other RippleNet partners essentially working together, doing, acquisitions, mergers, JVs, things of this nature. It's all good and great. And it's specifically regarding remittance. So this is literally what, Ripple is teaming up with these players to do. So it's not that outlandish to think that Ripple may or will play a role in the future. Notice, in a move creating a remittance and currency player with more than 24 million customers. This includes Ripple Partners UAE Exchange, boom, we already talked about them in the beginning, and Unimoney, or Unimo, I'm going to say Unimoney, hopefully that's how you pronounce it. I've heard it in a video before, and it will be a large player in the region. So this is on the nationalnews.com. Right here, the move expected Q2 would reopen Ripple partner UAE Express, an important remittance firm in the region. We can go down, talk about this backstory. I encourage you guys to read about this. This is pretty crazy with Finabler overall being sold, and it's just a UAE consortium that was sold for $1, but nonetheless, the UAE exchange is an important exchange, and the UAE governed it until the owners took possession. And the UAE, specifically government, is very forward thinking in terms of blockchain technology. This is not like the United States government, so please be aware that they can really make things happen in a very quick manner. All right. Now, right here, just in case you missed it, we also have Leo. This is the gentleman that created XRParcade.com. Go to that website after this video to learn about things, see the infographics, learn about XRP, learn about Ripple, see some partners. It's so cool. XRParcade.com. So created by Leo. Definite follow on Twitter. Pointed out that BFC is a Ripple partner. So under its new ownership, Ripple partner Finabler, and I say Finabler, some say Finabler, tomato, tomato, is merging with Ripple partner BFC. Is this the same BFC they also were at some point with a Ripple customer? Exactly. So love to see it, just kind of sharing that. And we're almost done. Right here, guys, Global ID. I'm sure you guys know of this with Greg Kidd, who was one of the first Ripple employees. And then he went on to, I believe, just become, I think he was just announced to be joining the board of MoneyGram. So we'll probably cover that tomorrow. Just crazy to see all these chess pieces moving around. And we can see we've just reached our goal of 5,000 strong for the XRP card waitlist. I was doing this, inputting multiple emails, and my page was just loading all day, so I don't even know if I got on this wait list. Oh well, I did my best, but our minds are truly blown by your astonishing reception, and as such, we've decided to extend the wait list to even more users. Sign up now to earn 2% back in XRP. This is shared by the Twitter page myglobal and then _ID. I have retweeted it, or at least the other post with the other link, so I encourage you guys to check that out. Let me just retweet it for anybody that will be doing that. Make sure this is muted. And also, so this is very exciting. I know a lot of people have Uphold cards, Coin Coinbase, debit cards with WireX, things of that nature, which is another RippleNet partner, we have right here. As Visa and Mastercard raise fees, merchants may look to crypto. Listen up to this, I'm going to keep it brief. Though invisible to consumers, they, interchange fees, are glaring to merchants, which often end up paying fees of about 2% of their customers' credit card purchases. The fees are set by the card networks such as Visa and Mastercard. Merchants pay them to the banks that issue the cards. Now, we're talking about Visa and Mastercard, we know their connections, but think about the players that are even bigger than them, and there are huge card networks as well, like Union Pay, which is already connected to a RippleNet partner, DLocale. They're also connected to behemoths like Alipay out of China. So a lot of things to consider. There are just some giants behind the scenes. And we often talk about blockchain as being the answer and disintermediation, getting rid of the middlemen, disintermediating, getting rid of intermediaries per se. And yes, that is absolutely true, but it's not only going to be beneficial to the consumers and retail side of you and me. This is going to help businesses. This is going to help merchants save. Imagine saving 2% or even just another percent on the thousands of orders you do in a single day. Saving that capital and having a lot more capital efficiency to go after other ventures. What can you do with that money? So it's very, very powerful. Just like XRP is solving the correspondent banking issue with these pre-funded accounts and, trillions of dollars, arguably $10 trillion in float that is sitting there just to lubricate the system as just in case money. That's what I like to call it, just in case money. What do you think is going to happen? So I know, Bitcoin maxis or even like people like great minds like Roger Ver have been preaching this for years and years and years. And I know it's taken a while, it sucks, but this is happening and adoption is happening. So that is why I am beyond excited each and every day. All right, let's talk about the Bitcoin chart. So something I referenced earlier, and yeah, it looks like we're coming down just a bit. So check how many weeks have passed since Bitcoin has tapped its 21 exponential moving average on the weekly, then do the same thing with the 9. So these are just, I use the 9 and the 21 on the weekly. I'll usually put this information out. I know I mentioned this like 3 months ago, but I just want to keep bringing it back because eventually, we're going to pull back and it doesn't take a genius to, retest previous levels. So what we can see right here is we have the orange, which is the 9, and we have the purple, which is the 21. So just take a peek and let's see the last time that we even wicked, and this is on Bitstamp, the last time that Bitcoin even wicked and touched the purple line. So arguably, we didn't even touch it until maybe September 2020, didn't really cut through it clearly until September 2020. So it's been quite a while. We'll even go and be conservative from the end of September all the way up until now. We're talking 154 days that we haven't even drawn a wick and tapped down on those levels. And what would those levels be? Well, currently we're at about 30K, all right? So overall, just about 31,000. Now keep in mind, if Bitcoin can stay up above the 40K region, this is going to kind of pull up gradually over time. So it could go up to the 35K, things of that nature. I wanted to point that out. And now something to note, of course, the 9 is a smaller time frame. It's a lot more volatile. It moves with the fluctuations of price as how it's plotted on the chart. We can see that it may even tap down a lot sooner than we think. And that region currently is around almost 41,000, I would say, give or take. And if we kind of zoom in and just look at, when this is the last time Bitcoin's, candle body closure even touched it, or we kind of cut through with a wick, it wasn't, I guess it was pretty recent, just about a month ago today. So January 25th. But typically, you're getting that, every 4 to 6 weeks. This little bullish move took a while, went from October all the way. So, it happens. There's some time periods where it doesn't, but typically you're used to retests. So now I'm going to zoom out and let me just turn the lights on and see what I have up here. So yeah, so I had this drawn a while ago. This is just the Fibonacci swing high, swing low. And this was kind of before we were even at these levels, before Bitcoin was even at 30K, just kind of seeing the extensions. So of course we went all the way to the 1618 extension. Hopefully you guys can read that okay. And that's about 30,400 as well as up here, and it almost looked like we were en route all the way to the 3618 of about 63K per the wicks at least. So I was looking for that. I'm curious if we're going to get another impulse. I know the majority of the market, says we're kind of going down now, and I agree that the market's going to have to pull back eventually. Come on, we have so many Bitcoin CME gaps. We have gaps on even the Bitcoin chart on some larger time frames, believe it or not. We have gaps on some altcoins. It's simply a matter of time before the retests. And then let me see. So I have this little trend line. Let me go to the daily or something. And it's typical for any type of retest. We've never retested these levels and we just kept shooting up. So anywhere around here, That's, you know, like even 34,000. So all in all, you know, I'm still holding my alts. I'm not really worried. You guys know I've been sitting in cash, 50% cash fiat since September 2020. So it's been burning a hole in my pocket. I'm waiting to get back in. So any dips, any dumps, I'll wait and I'll start the dollar cost average when I see my levels that I want, you know, to essentially fulfill. Then we can get back into the fun stuff. Nonetheless, you know, a lot of people are kind of expecting we kind of get another pullback down. I just wanted to, you know, I want to get the show on the road because I am ready. I still don't feel good. I have a massive headache and I'm excited for what's to come, guys. The crypto market surpassed 1.5, even 1.7, 1.8 trillion. Yes, we're going to have pullbacks. We're going to have people saying it's going to zero. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the tech. Could we see some low prices for some of our favorite alts again before going to higher highs? Yes, it's always possible. I'm not going to take that off the table, but you have to understand, don't be scared out by the market. Anything that I buy, even anything that I'm in a trading position currently in, if I cannot in my head imagine owning it for 5 years, let's say, just 5 years, that's a good conservative number, I don't buy it. So that is the way I see it. I know it's kind of unorthodox. Hopefully it's what a lot of mature people are doing, but it's just something that's personally helped me. So, yep, I'm sick of holding. I am impatiently waiting with you guys, as I always say, but this does not change the macro outcome of the charts and what's going to happen in the years that, you know, in the years ahead. Do what's best for you, you know, take profit, trade, sell, whatever, you know, whatever you feel is best, but just please try not to act out of emotion. Have a plan and stick to it, because once you start acting out of emotion, you have no plan. So, and I've done that, I've been there, so just please be safe. I'm sure you guys, let's remove this and just draw a little fib right here too. And this is just on the daily. I might want to go to like a 4 hour and see if I can see something better. Nonetheless, you guys can watch these retracement levels, you can play with the pivots. Sometimes I do that just to plot them a little easier. So we'll keep an eye on everything. But it seems like the sentiment overall, despite, you know, all the hypey articles being put out, and even, you know, Michael Saylor and all the buying, we're just kind of anticipating whether we check here. So if we checked here currently, that's about like 41,000. Keep in mind, if we stay up, this is going to quickly come up. So, I mean, literally in 3 days, this moving average could be all the way up here to like 43,000. Same thing with this 21. But yeah, I'm not going to rule it out. I'm open-minded to these guys getting retested. I know some people are calling for even a sub 10K Bitcoin crash. Nothing would surprise me at this point, but all in all, I'm just focused on the alts that are driven by utility in the future. And when utility comes, it is game over. We're going to see a very, very different type of ecosystem. So nonetheless, guys, I hope you enjoy. Hopefully my voice isn't too nasally, and I will catch you in the next video.